See, I'm going to set this up and I'm going to do this ahead of time because I've already been in contact with Mr. I say Sir Douchebag. So I'm going to call him an NPC. Look, my respect for organized chaos goes about as far as I can throw it. I've been dealing with him and his lackeys for nearly 2 to 3 years, and this goes back to because I work with Gray, Patrick, and other people. I talked with Charles. He's the same person who betrayed Charles. Organized chaos, or Bob, as he is commonly known, is kind of the bane or like shit end of the internet, where he's like, all the anti-chuds. Anti-chud! Oh, they're chuds! They're doing misinformation! But at the same time, he consumes all the slop that comes out. Just my opinion, just an observation. But then again, I've been the leading proponent. Consumers are the bane of any existence. And by consumers, I mean consumers with two U's. Consumers. It's like the red letter media. It's what Bob is the very definition of. Shut up, don't ask questions. Get hyped for more product. And to be fair, there's a whole backstory to him. And you can look up Organized Chaos Bob prior. And it was probably about the time, probably 16, probably 16? Maybe 16 or 18, somewhere in that realm. I mean, he's probably been a left guy the whole time. Blue collar worker, never really had success. Did stuff on YouTube, half baked. At one point, he talked to people who were. Now he's just known as a universal NPC. Now, what brings this to a point is I deal in politics and gaming. So, without further ado, let's get to the reason why we are at this thing. Look, I can tolerate him being a consumer. Okay? Fine. I detest consumers. But then again, I'm in the niche in a fandom. You need to make a quality product, all right? Bear in mind, quality product. But this man slurps up stuff like nobody's business, all right? This is what he does. Now, all right. See this right here. This is where I had the interaction with him. This is Representative Al Green. He refused to sit when Trump demanded him to. Wait till you get to the lies. Again, I will love to go on his thing. And again, it's going to go about as well. I'm going to have to deal with a sycophant audience. Trump had him removed. Green is an absolute Chad. Democrats need to take notes. Every Democrat needs to take and make sure the opposition is what they seen. If Trump threatens to boot you, you make him do it. And by the way, he basically here admits he really couldn't watch it. There's actually another golden clip, and you're about to see it. And I apologize because I go through Firefox. This is him talking about him. And this is him flat out saying Hearing USA chanted, Trump just lied throughout the entire thing. And now let's make this full screen so you can look. He can't watch clips, nor can Eric debunks. And he got frustrated. Yes, and when they started chanting USA, USA, he says it's like watching a Nazi rally, as you see right here. Okay. One of my leading pet peeves in dealing with progressives, right? Look, I've been through the ringer. I have dealt with Dane. I've dealt with him. What version of America do these people want? So if you chant USA, USA in patriotic mannerisms, that's akin to Nazi Germany, Bob? Will you say this on your own stream if I asked you to clarify this? Let's see if he gives further context. And I will give the full context to this story. Remember, he's saying Trump kicked him out. Bear in mind, Bob, I asked him to clarify. By the way, Eric debunks just said protesting is American. All right. But protesting ends. But you can't do it in Congress, and I will explain this in a second. He is literally doing the activist line, but he has no concept so they're getting all their talking points from there. Now, here, right here, by the way, I want you to understand, Bob, you can admit you're wrong. You can either do this when we talk, or you can just admit you're wrong in the email, and I'll save you the embarrassment on your channel. It stays between you and I. Bob, did you say Trump threw him out? Will you bet your channel on that? Are you strong enough to bet your channel on that? Again, a person with a moral of their convictions would not have said something as stupid as he said. I might be a Republican, but I am a moderate Republican. I live in Texas. Not all of us like Trump. I have my nitpickings with the way he's running his administration, but I understand how he works. So watch, Bob, watch Trump as he throws him out. Or just not. I want you to note, he is here pointing a cane, right? This is the Democrat side of the aisle. Notice most of the Democrats are all sitting in peace. What is this man doing? I want you to note, he just said, Bob, organized chaos, just said Trump had him thrown out. Now, they're chanting USA, right? This is the Republican side. Now, these are all required to sit. Now, Al Green is continuing to stand. And now Al Green is continuing to stand, point his cane repeatedly. Right? And if you find this clip, Bob, I mean, you can admit you're wrong. And I mean, this is fine. This is totally fine. But I want to see you defend this on the street. And I'll bet $1,000 Trump doesn't have him thrown out. Or just kill your channel, please. Kill your channel or just never talk about politics again. Learn how the politics work. And I will explain this because the reason why I'm a little irritated about this is I'm passionate because I know about this. See, what if evil Trump throws him out? Let me just make sure, Bob. Let's go back a couple of things. I don't see any dog whistles yet, Bob. Do I see any dog whistles? Trump is speaking, right? And see, let me get something out of the way. Trump is a showman, the end of the day. The speech is a speech. Very excellent speech. Now, he was at the same time trying to taunt the Republicans. Because here's the thing. There are rules to protesting Congress. Bob didn't understand when I made the point, and I'll show the interaction. Bob, you don't understand. You don't go before Congress as a congressman and disrupt. I have yet to see Trump point out for him to be removed. So there is no such thing as a civil order before Congress, Bob. Or Dane, because I know you're going to watch this. I want you to understand, even you are supposed to. They're trying to get him to be civil. Here you go. Does Trump look like he's throwing him out? Bob, who is this man behind here? Bob, who is this man? Who is this man right here? The Speaker of the House. Bob. This goes for any liberal who wants to. And show this to your liberal friends. This looks like Trump doesn't this right here. Trump had him thrown out. He is the Speaker of the House. And watch what he does. So he is being told he's been standing, causing a disruption. Look at the rest of his colleagues. Shame. Shame, 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 shame. That's Adam Schiff, by the way. Adam Schiff, at least, is smart enough to say stuff on the side. Maintain quorum in the House and cease any further disruptions. This is a man he is praising. members are in, he's reading of it, continuing breach of the quorum. And this is a normal tradition. He is asking the sergeant at arms to come to remove him if he refuses to sit down. Certainly looks like Trump, does it, Bob? Now, see if he takes his seat. So, he is refused. The Speaker of the House is now telling him, the Sergeant at Arms, to restore order. He either has the choice to sit down or get out. Bob, this is why you need to understand politics. This is why you need to understand rules. This is the Secret Service and the Sergeant at Arms coming to escort him out right now. There's other colleagues telling him to move. Now, this man, that man, if you go back, this guy right here is a Democrat. He calls for the censure of him the next day. Now, you want to see how to properly protest, right? You can have signs. You see these little placards right here? Musk steals, Musk lies, whatever else. That is a loud protest. So it certainly looks like Trump had him thrown out, Bob. Are we seeing the same thing? I saw the Speaker of the House throw him out. Because quorum and rules. Now let's get to this. So I see this, right? I see these comments. Let's see how many of them are still here. I realize your side of the aisle hates rule of law, or what you think it is. There is this thing called rules of ceremony, aka rules of conduct, or conduct rules, during government sessions. He broke those rules and was asked to leave. He can face censure as well. I didn't see your side of the aisle do this when Republicans did this in Biden, to Biden and Obama. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene was largely known and almost censured for calling, I think it was Biden, a liar. You also have the guy during the State of the Union during Obama said he lied. But he didn't get censured or removed because Republicans know better. Because there's a rule of law. There's a rule of order. Simple. Because I know Bob is going to go, well, this and this. Remember what Bob says. Now, the follow-up is more funny. Now, I'm not going to go into details. Obama never bragged about taking people's rights. They didn't push culture war propaganda. They didn't have exception cults, but followed everything they did and they said. This president is different. It's far worse than Trump's first terms. Okay, so to disrupt the joint session of Congress, yes or no? You're praising a man who broke rules and was warned to sit down. He didn't do so. He was removed per the rules. The difference in the past, Republicans did call a liar, but he went quiet afterwards. Broke those rules. You should know your side of the aisle. And this is a precedent, right? And I can get into this in further detail. The problem is, I just want you to see the disconnect. Bob doesn't understand the rule and the quorum and the ceremony that was broken, why Al Green was removed. Now, there is further stuff that, I need to go into as well, because this man is trying to be like, he was one of like a bunch that protested. There was like some in pink that walked out. I would argue Trump got the respect he deserves from Green, which is none at all. And I don't want to hear about rules when your side attempted the insurrection. Look, if I had a dime for every progressive or liberal that said, my insurrection, and Trump was convicted of 34 felonies, which is the same charge 34 times, and then eventually thrown out because they were bullshit. And I think he may have deleted one of the comments, it looks like. You have some insane double standards, wanting to complain how liberals ignore decorum and sweep the insurrection underneath the rug. Here's my email if you want to come on. I'm done addressing your trolling comments. I see he's tried to delete the comment just to make himself look better, because you can see their remark. So, Bob is here, but I guess if you chant USA, USA, that's akin to a Nazi rally. This is why Dane's side of the internet needs to burn. Bob's side of the internet's not much good either. So, he doesn't understand the mistake he has made. He's like, let him do whatever. 1 or 2 reposts. Bob, I would love to see his like Twitter feed, right? The problem is he's so confident. Eric T. Bunks is a pretty scummy guy too. Now let's go look at his channel, shall we? Let's go to videos. A new reign. Kathleen Kennedy gone. Nerd erotic. Look. This is literally them. Look, and I'm not going to go into the whole details because I would be here all day. Oh, JDA, Eric July, Critical Drinker. Let's just do a count. Nerd erotic. This probably has mentions of nerd erotic. Oh, Clownfish. He sweeps for Captain America 4. Oh, look, Eric July. Turns on Jon Stewart. Oh, look. Neurotic Sims for Trump to get the Nazi a month ago. Here's the thing, right? And this is something that... Oh, look, Melanie Mack, Nerd Erotic, Critical Drinker, Disney. Go down. Oh, look, Brett Cooper, United Healthcare. Like, oh, God. I can pretty much already tell. And look, this is Birdman, by the way, when you want to look. Birdman's also another shit shill, but he's made his way. Let's just be clear here. I mean, look, he talks about Daredevil, Steel, He's doing the attempting to read comics like a normie. Look, I'm going to be honest. If I talk to him, I'll try to have an honest conversation with him. But I'm going to say this because I'm not going to be able to get it out on his channel. I'll say it on mine. Look at scammers, this, that. It's members only. It's this. Gothics. Look, this is my problem with a lot of people, right? If I want to watch garbage content, I'll do it. But it's like chud, right? Dane's apparently on hiatus, by the way. Chili's in the chuddies, and I guess since Turf actually left, part of PDF files. Okay, that's members only. So, what have we established here? He knows nothing about politics because he convinces himself of a narrative. He openly says, chanting USA, USA at a joint session of Congress, if people so choose. He's a Nazi rally. Now, the funny part about the whole Trump speech is there's parts of it that need to be gone over, but a lot of those parts where I think Trump screwed up. Look, I am no fan of Trump being near the federal administration. I don't trust tech bros, and I do not trust unelected bureaucrats or officials to be properly imbalanced, or partly, not imbalanced, but have a balance to be able to be there. If you have no place in the government, you don't deserve to be there. I mean, you can put anybody on the cabinet you want, as long as they meet the requirements. Oh, and by the way, Bob, before you want to go, you sleep for January 6th. No, the lawbreakers who actually broke rules on January 6th, bury them underneath the prison, please. Because that's unpatriotic as well. But it wasn't all of them. Well, majority of the charges are railroaded, despite what your NPC programming says. Again, it was either take federal charges or just fight them off for 5 years. And a lot of people can't fight federal government charges, so good luck. It's different than a state. It wasn't state charges, Bob, Dane. They don't all know that. But then again, Bob also sweeps for Black Lives Matter violence and Antifa violence. Since we want to play both sides, play aisle politics, I deplored that too. It's major civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is not burning down cities, nor is committing acts of violence, nor is repeated lies about January 6th. By the way, what happened to those pipe bombs in the building, boys? Bob, do you know anything about that? What about all the Congress people and the congressmen and women and senators who said they were there and they weren't there? Dog and pony show. Oh. Yes. Or is that what the NPC programming tells you what to do? But no, look. It's real easy to shit on Dane, Bob, and all his crew because they're consumers. Again, I don't care that he's a consumer, okay? I detest it. Look, I'll be honest. If I weren't doing YouTube or having to do movie reviews with a friend on another person's channel, I wouldn't watch half this shit. Not because, but I wouldn't talk about it either. I mean, Captain America, like, it looked meh from the get-go for me. because Captain Falcon was a shitty run in the first place. Same with most of Jane Foster's Thor. I mean, it had a decent ending, but the Captain Falcon run was horrible. The Wakanda 2, Wakanda Forever movie was blah. See, this is what I know about comics, unlike you and Dane. As a comic reader, I didn't enjoy it. I don't care about Shuri as Black Panther. But for God's sake, she was just a high-tech Black Panther. Did you know that, Bob? No, you didn't know this. Maybe you should have Dane inform you. Oh, by the way, here in this, a debate with a fan. See, I sent this to Kidda to cover. I hope she does. He literally has to play the clip as a gotcha that proves Rags is a racist. Okay? This is where dishonesty goes to die. I'm just going to say this now. And by the way, so I am not wrong, and you can do this yourself. 942. Congress passed an effort, one of them being Green, 2 voting not present, called it a well of reading, etc., to censure him. Green was ejected from the joint session. Decorum and order are institutions, are the institutional grounds we do business in the United States Congress. The sheer disregard during the president is unacceptable, Newhouse said. Members' refusal to adhere to Speaker's direction, cease behavior regardless of their party, has and will continue to be reprimanded. Democrats tried and failed on Wednesday evening to block censure methods. Now, there's an interview with him afterwards. He said he will take whatever punishment was given to him. Now, I mean, he doesn't deny them privileges. It's been happening more to Democrats over the last few years. Now, censure. This is what? Later on. 1031, right? Yes. Yep. So, and Al Green is not a hero that you're looking for. I mean, Mike Johnson, and this is largely down. It's just a formal reprimand. Now, a lot of people, he'll go to his members and say he's being whatever. But he admitted there's an entire interview where he admitted he did it. Look, there's a Democrat, a centrist Democrat, Tom Snozy, boneheaded. All right? Think about it. Regardless, oh, that's right, they hate centrists. And here's a source. I think it was wrong, Sozik told the source on Wednesday night. I am an old school, traditional type person. I don't like it when Republicans interrupt Democrat presidents, and I don't like it when Democrats interrupt Republican presidents. So it was a boneheaded move. You don't disrupt Congress, Bob. Simple. Look, if you need liberal people, liberals and progressives by far in nature. Then again, I am never wrong when I see a progressive person. If you look at a rally, never once have I said when I look at a DNC rally and said I see socialist and commies. No. I see people who are liberals or Democrats or borderline progressives. I will call them a cult at times. That's because the modern Democrats are a cult. That's why Kamala lost. Now, let's be clear. When was the last time people heard from the squad, Bob? Do you know who the squad is? They're not around much anymore. They were shoved into a basement about a year or two before the election cycle. The Palestinian woman took a major L when she sided with Palestine over that. Democrats distanced themselves from her. Elon Omar was recently censored, I think last year. Ocasio-Cortez has gotten in line. She was very vocal against most Democrats, saying they were corrupt. But other than that, you're not hearing much of the members out of the squad anymore. Because the squad is and was, their behavior became disruptive. There's a lot of Democrat leadership that has come up and down within the last 4 years, 5 years. Like when I asked Bob, do you believe in the rule of law? Immigration laws have been on books for nearly 10 plus years, if not longer. Biden's administration could have got all the criminal illegal aliens out of the country. Bob, why didn't they? Huh. It was beneficial to them. This is the problem when you're dealing with people. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Republican boneheaded stuff Trump is doing, and I'm having to keep track of that. To be fair and honest, a lot of it makes sense, but there's also a lot of bullshit orders. So amongst the whole, he's cutting Medicaid and Medicare, he's actually talking about reopening up power plants that Democrats closed, which led to rising energy costs. By the way, Bob, don't you work in the grocery store? How is prices where you are? Good? Eggs? Not high? So I would like for you to understand something. If we do talk, keep the ad hominems to the simple. And I would really like to know how you justify the Democrats protesting as legal. You can protest at a State of the Union. You can hold a conference on the outside. You can go to a video conference like Adam Schiff did on his own YouTube channel and call Trump a liar the whole time. That is allowed. But in Congress or the Senate, you are not allowed. See, Bob, I'm going to have to close. Do you endorse fighting in Congress? Would you endorse someone being caned? Fistfights between congresswomen, men and women. Brawls. If the answer is yes, you're a little insane. Because prior to the Civil War, there was a guy, very story, right before the secession votes. He was very famous for either like fist fighting, caning, beating someone with an entire cane. And they would just give him new canes. It's like, what the fuck? That was actual Congress back in like 1800s. But then again, dueling was also legal as well back then. So, to a degree. Oh, but eventually those rules were done away with. Censure happens. Ocasio-Cortez and other people have talked about being censured. It's gone on for the longest time. I mean, everyone knows, as I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene called Biden a liar. Obama was called a liar by a guy up there too. But when he was told to be quiet, he stayed quiet. But you know what's funny about that? They wanted Marjorie Taylor Greene escorted out. They wanted the other guy thrown out too. It didn't happen, huh? Because there was rules. He didn't break rules. He didn't continue to disrupt. But Bob, I look forward to the conversation. And by the way, if anyone sees this, please understand, I don't have a grudge against Bob. I just, look, where there is progressives, there is always fire. These people, if you look and you look at people here, I want you to understand, Bob, and any progressive people. They believe that half the country is now villains. And I say this with utmost respect. This is a poisonous mentality that has led to a bunch of tribalism. And it is a disruptive policy. Republicans are a policy where politics of just because it's a big tent party, so to speak, there's predominant wins. But Democrats have been lockstep for a while. But remember, they couldn't defeat him in November. They also endorsed rhetoric that led to 2 or 3 plus assassination attempts. I don't see Bob saying, well, this can't happen. I didn't see Dane say anything bad about it either, now did we? You don't openly. You created the rhetoric. I didn't see them push back against the rhetoric they were creating because it suited them. Okay? If it suits a party. Look, going after Trump for 8+ years, getting charges on him, and half them getting thrown out. Obama starting to investigate him as an enemy of the state. Does Bob know about that? Does Dane know about that? Maybe Vosh didn't tell him. Look, I certainly disagree with how Trump is running sectors of his stuff. But I haven't seen any problems with the FBI yet. I haven't seen, a lot of the nominees are a little iffy. There's even a section in his speech where they talk about Robert Kennedy. Democrats disown Robert Kennedy. And also, Bob, I want you to ask you this question. And if we do talk, I am going to ask this to you. When they talked about Lincoln Riley, let me show you something. I want you to defend this. All right? Now let's go. Do you know the story about Lincoln Riley? Let's go Laken Riley, right? Laken Riley, yeah. I have to go back and find the whole thing about Laken Riley, right? Let's go here. Do you know the Laken Riley murder? that happened under illegals? Do you know how much crime was committed underneath them? Democrats would not stand up for it. So weaponize the government, right? The idea, I have to find it. I know it's in here. But Democrats would not stand for the whole Lincoln Riley thing. Do you know how hard it was to, let me see, was it here? And he actually talked about having a visa program. And Democrats were silent about illegal migrants murdering people. So do you condone crimes by migrants? And do you acknowledge the Democrats' quietness that happened in this? Oh, they would jeer him. But again, this is what people see. They're fine with condoning the murder of children, I guess. But will they? Where's those double standards, Bob? Your double standards are showing. And me as a personal, I have been, a lot of states have passed Lincoln Riley murders, right? So you're going to tell me there's been no murderers? ICE? Let's see. You see here? Here you go. Democrats were silent during this. It took an act of God in a Republican-led Senate and Congress. I want you to look at this, Bob. This is Lincoln Riley's sister. That is the mother. And this is a preview of what I'm going to talk about when I talk about this. This is a part where he came over. And I want you to see that the Democrats are silent. Democrats are all, they will sit. They will let this happen. There was a murder down in Houston that he had to acknowledge. The mother and the sister is still shaken. Notice only half the room stands. And I guarantee when they pan out, there are no Democrats cheering. So do they condone murder by migrants? There is another one where they had to jam this bill down Congress's throat by near a line vote. Because Democrats would not vote for it. Why? Do you want to protect children, Bob? Are you for pro-children murder? No, don't bring up abortion. This is criminal illegal aliens. It is taken an act of God. What was it? During the first Trump term, I forget what the bill was called. Wasn't Lincoln Riley. There was another murder. There was something else. It took a thing because Democrats would not acknowledge it. It's like a child abduction law, I believe, or something like that years ago. No, but it was recently. And it took an act of Congress. And it took them line iteming it in. Again, half the room is quiet. But they're just supporting people who aren't they, Bob? When Springfield was having issues, you're in Ohio, right? How are they have all the Haitians up there? I've talked to people from Ohio, and they're all over the place up there. I live in Texas, for God's sakes. They're all down here, too. See? Nora Weary. There's this whole section here, Bob. Go back and look. Half the room is quiet. And that is the Democrat side. So when you want to talk about double standards, I want to hear you condone this. Ask liberal people and progressive people, do they condone this? Because this is a serious thing. I don't care. Murder is murder to me. If it's committed or crimes are committed, it should all be punished. No politics, no nothing. I've been wanting proper border policy for 20 plus years. Well, we can't have it because one side of the aisle keeps bumping it along. You know the funny part about this is? But then again, Bob did say this was a Nazi rally, yes? This is the gotcha. I would just like for him to defend this. And the problem is, they can sit there, the stuff about the fentanyl. So where was the lies, Bob, to stop the fentanyl coming in the United States? I'm pretty sure this will get flagged by YouTube. There was a meeting the other day for Congress, and I just heard about it, and I need to find the C-SPAN hearing for it. They called 5 mayors to testify before Congress who were doing self-proclaimed sanctuary cities. I mean, I'm guessing this is just the position left people have, especially progressive people. They ignore the rule of law. But you don't need to make new laws. These laws have been on the books for years. Trump literally tracked down a bunch of migrants who were wanted on criminal charges in probably a month. Yeah, he might have questionable dealings with Putin and other things, but he does know how to make deals. And I'm not happy about his shit with Zelensky, but I at least endorse his immigration policies. And he wants healthy immigration, not the Elon immigration with H-1B visas. Proper immigration at some point. You can go into the whole thing. It's not the monstrosity. Read all the policies he's passing. So where was all the lies, Bob? Or any liberal progressive person? See, this is why I need to go over this. I'm kind of one of those people. Like, it's just now. Talk to people in New York. Again, I just have to address this because I want you to understand. He was praising this. Praise this man, huh? Right? This man literally said that he did this for a publicity stunt, and he doesn't care the consequences. All the Democrats were bowing in shame around him. And then you wonder why there was sweeping reform. Look, I honestly believe, I'll say this in closing on him. Bob, if you hear this, stay to your lane. Please do the internet a favor. I don't care if you call grifters or chuds. Stay in your lane. But if you're at least going to talk politics or actual rules, I mean, I'm just going to ask, right? You do what you do. Look, and for the fucking love of God, stop with this shitty content, dude. You're losing viewers. Look, I'm a small channel, right? Let's say I fire up a stream. Diablo 4, what does I have? Like, my sub count was like 60, right? Something like that now. I'll get 50% viewership. Pretty good on my end. I'll get a lot of people stopping by. What are you getting on views? You have 27,000 subs and you're barely clearing 382. Right? 500. 2 weeks. Let's go to your live streams. 500. 600. You're not even breaking an algorithm. Let's go back about a year ago. Right? Let's go back. How far? 1,000. I mean, hell, you're talking with Blurred. Blurred's reached 100,000 and his views tanked too. And no offense against Blurred, I've watched him for years. But he can't say anything without A-cab this, A-cab that. Right? Literally. He has his own derangement. I had to stop watching him. Look at your views in 9 months. This is your own live streams. The real reason 10 months ago. Why? And you probably lied through that one too. How many of these takes aged like sour milk? Do you think, Bob? Cancel culture. You know, fun fact while I'm here, and before I forget, I am looking forward to Fantastic Four. I think it's actually going to be good. Even if it's going to be probably mediocre. Right? That's because it looks like a classic film. Right? And I saw Shang-Chi too. Shang-Chi is actually a good film. Culturally appropriate. A little awkward. Such a typical Chud take, huh? Then again, you accused me of sleeping for bad stuff I didn't do. Weird. I have objective comic tastes. Huh. And I read comics. I buy comics. I have some that I don't like. I liked Venom: The Last Dance. Tell the truth. Bro, are you telling the truth? Like, the new season of Doctor Who's not tracking well, right? You know the Gotwa? Like, how well did Shilling for Acolyte go? Good? Bad? See, how well did that go? Hell, I'm an avid Doctor Who fan. Many, many years. Even through Capaldi and even through that. And I had to tap out for a period during Jodie Whittaker's run. Star Trek. Most of Star Trek. Most of Star Wars I watched too. I guess we didn't watch the same fandom. The silliest tailcast. And you dox Mahler here and you use Mahler's real face. Look, just remember, if God Was Doctor was so successful, Disney wouldn't be trying it. See, look at these views. You are basically known. Like a lot of stuff I like, right? You remember him? Who's this guy here, if I remember? Right? Let's go back 7 months ago. I think it's like him or another guy. He's been doing more stuff with Charles now. Are you going to ever make up with Charles what you did to him? I've talked to Charles. You won't tell me exactly what part you played, and then I don't want to know. By the way, that's not how you bleed a kyber crystal. Well, that's okay. And just for the record, since I'm a fair person and you guys have tied your boats together, well, let's check Eric Debunk's channel. There you are. There you are. How is Eric Debunk's channel going? Better than yours. But still full of bullshit. At least he's not taking the other. A little bit still gaslighting here and lying here. I mean, a lot of people are canceled from the Kennedy Center, but try again. At least he's making his own thumbnails versus stealing them now. But he's still misreporting, though. But I guess a 7-day opening. I guess it's a 7-day opening now versus a 1-day opening. And he doesn't get the joke of what everyone said. You guys make fun of Midnight's Edge? Midnight's Edge actually predicted that she's probably going to stay on. Even I said she's probably going to stay on in some capacity. Now let's go check Eric's Reloaded's channel while we're here too. Gone, views, dead, 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 dead. Crossover only because he's doing the whole thing. Now let's go to your buddy, Actual Fandom. Or Dane. I like to call him the failed Texan, of course. I mean, if you call living in humble and moving around. 300 views, 600 views. This isn't getting your views. And let's go to the live streams. 600, 800. These are all the same views because you guys are sharing the same pool. You know why a lot of people didn't like Skeleton Crew? Because it didn't feel like a Star Wars show. Daredevil, Born Again, I need to watch. I mean, Superman, Doomsday, Avengers, Doomsday are the one, right? That's up in the air. That's all in the execution. But stop assuming everyone's a chud and stuff like this. Because a lot of people, when you like Rings of Power, the internet's not on your side. I'm not going to say you can't enjoy Rings of Power. Rings of Power is bad. Boy, look, it's a J.D. Vance. Right? At some point, Bob, stop covering politics. Stick to your lane. He didn't really care about Comic Historian. None of you guys knew who he was. Again, if you want to have an honest conversation with me, go ahead. I'll have one with you. But stick to the points. But maybe you need your NPC update. But till then, I gotta go prep for a game stream in about an hour. And I don't think people want to watch me redo my Paragons. So I'm going to be running things. Eat something and be there. And I'll be live back at what? 1:30? Yeah, so 1:30. Pretty consistent. And Bob, please get back to me. The terms are very simple. No gaslighting. No ad hominems. Let's have an honest discussion why you believe tribalism is okay. Why do you think activism, when there are rules in place in Congress, it shouldn't be? I mean, you can always take your L and just admit that, though. Because it's a real thing. But anyways, guys, and later, men, women, and children, I shall be back at 1:30 for Diablo 4 stream. And that is, I'm having to rework my Paragons character. And I am still not sure what I'm going to do with that. I got to replace gauntlets, I believe. But I may not have to. But we will see. Anyways, till then, I just do gaming and random, and I will be having to cover more of Trump's speech. It just happened that coincided with some NPC. You know, never know. I might have to have the conversation with him. But I'll probably bet it's 5 minutes before I get chunked. You tweet for this and this. I sent him some basic terms, Bob. And I'm going to say this. I sent him basic terms. No ad hominems, no gaslighting, nothing. Let's just have a conversation. But if you can see, you went straight to gaslighting. It's not a good look for you. Honestly, I give you more benefit of the doubt than I do anyone, Bob. But if we do have a conversation, I'll be cordial, if you will. And you should really make up with Charles at some point. He's really hurt by the whole interaction you guys last had. I feel sorry for him because he felt led astray by you guys, maybe. And Charles, if you see this, I didn't. It's just my view. Backstabbing people is never my view. You don't treat people. And I deal with a large group of people. But, till then, got an hour and a half and I'm going to go put my nose to the grindstone in pits. Eat something and do that. So, thank you for watching, and I will be having other stuff on the Trump thing. I also do have before we can plug this, I do have something on Kathleen Kennedy possibly leaving Star Wars, Lucasfilms. But then again, I have my own theory. She's not going to leave. I don't think she ever was. But there's a lot of theories floating around about that for years. Like, I think she was actually going to leave this time. But then the internet caught up to it. I don't know. It's the whole thing about, and that will be done with Mandalore. But Bob, get back to me if you want to have that conversation. Or you might have to wait till the NPC update happens, I guess. Till then.